Yo, what's up, people? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO coming at you with another topic today. All right. And today we're going to be talking about that voice inside your head, the inner voice. All right. Just letting you know, if you are new to this podcast and you've never been here before, you are more than welcome to ask questions and drop comments as we go along. And at the end, I'll try my very best to answer as many of these comments and questions as possible. So yeah, if you are talking as I go throughout the live stream or the podcast recording, and you're like making some breakthroughs and you want to talk about some things, definitely talk about them. Just because I don't respond to them immediately doesn't mean that I don't see them. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just getting a good soundbite for the people that are listening to this on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All right. So now that that's out the way, let's break this down. Again, when you do join, let me know how your day is going. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear a little bit about that. Again, people, comments, questions are more than welcome, and I'll do my best to answer at the end if you are just tuning in right now. And if you've been here before, then you already know that. So I don't have to go over that again. All right. So without wasting any time, we'll be breaking down the podcast episode recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO coming at you with another topic. And today, we'll be talking about the inner voice, that voice inside your head, and why you're running away from it. You know, is it leading to your self-destruction? Is it leading towards your freedom? We'll figure that out. We'll sort of, iron out all the creases here in today's episode and get your head right. All right. So before we dive in, I want to let you know, if this episode is something that you think is of value, share it out to a friend that you might think needs to hear this, something about their mental health, or if they struggle with running away or avoiding certain things in their life that they should be paying attention to. All right, so definitely share this out. Don't be a hog. And also, I've got something at the end of this episode that I want to share with you guys. It's a little bit of an announcement, and sort of, I mean, you guys are getting the perks because you're watching this live, but I'm gonna talk about that at the end. All right, so let's break it down. Let's get into it. Let's talk about that voice inside your head. Let's talk about that inner voice. All right, let's break it down. How to buy luck. It's easy, but it's hard. So ask yourself, guys and girls, when was the last time you blew an opportunity? Just be honest with yourself. If you're listening to this, just give yourself a second. When was the last time you blew an opportunity? You know, what if you had a chance to, a real chance to like do something that you really wanted to do, like whatever it is, make more money, lose the weight that you said you wanted to lose, improve a relationship, or live a happier, healthier life. Okay. And it was finally possible to do this thing that you wanted to do for so long. And it was almost as if, luck knocked on your door because this opportunity just presented itself. Right. But as soon as you opened that door and saw the face of the lucky opportunity, you slammed it shut, locked it, and panicked, ran away like you saw a ghost. Has that ever happened to you? Is that something you've ever done, whether consciously or subconsciously? Of course, this is like a big fat metaphor, but have you experienced anything similar to what I just said? Like, for absolutely no reason, you kind of blew an opportunity. Like, you would have loved to take advantage of it, but something subconsciously just made you avoid it. If that's ever happened to you, cool. If it hasn't, maybe it has and you're not really aware of it because it was so subconscious, and like, it happened just way over your head. All right, so you might be thinking to yourself, I've never done that. And if you haven't, that's awesome. Like, you're probably not aware of it, or you haven't done it, and that's cool. But if you have done that, if you are aware of the fact that you may have, let's say, blown an opportunity, right? Ask yourself, isn't it funny that you can want something for so long, only for when it shows up, like only for you to run away and like hide from it? Like, isn't that weird? You can want something for so long, the better relationship, more money, whatever it is. And as it shows up in whatever way, shape, or form that it shows up, you almost kind of run away from it and hide. Has that ever happened to you? And if it has, isn't that funny? Isn't that ironic? Because I know the feeling. It sucks like dog shit and feels so fucking embarrassing because you've been almost dying for that opportunity every day up until the opportunity came there. And for some random reason, you ran away from it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I mean. That tense feeling in your chest, when the opportunity crosses your mind and it kind of forces you to feel like shit because you knew you didn't seize the moment, or those negative thoughts you keep having that end up becoming the things that you say to yourself when you're alone in the car at home, like those negative thoughts, like, for example, like, this is a super basic one, and no, this is not as serious, but say you had the intention to, as you're coming back from work, play the lottery, right? And you know, you were going to go to your regular convenience store or gas station to buy some tickets and go home on your regular route. But this one day you forgot, or at least you just, whatever, I'm not going to go buy the ticket today because I just want to go home quicker. And then tomorrow you find out that somebody bought the winning lotto ticket at that exact same location. Do you know what I mean? Like that feeling. And then you start sitting and thinking to yourself, "Oh, why the fuck was I so lazy? Why didn't I just go into that convenience store? It would have only been 5 minutes. I would have been a millionaire." Like that kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? That voice in your head that tells you you should have, would have, and could have done the thing, but you fucking didn't. Sit with that. Have you ever experienced that? You know, I've noticed that when you keep talking down on yourself, uh, but don't know how to stop, even though it's something you can't really control, it's all more likely than not aligns with like a sign that you know you could have done something that you haven't done or that you weren't doing. And yes, that feeling sucks and it does make you feel bad. But what I've looked like now, look outside looking in, when I look at it, I'm like, I couldn't be more grateful for that feeling or that thought or that voice in my head because I noticed that voice isn't actually a bully. It's a part of the best version of yourself. Like if you've ever said, "Oh, I should have done this thing," but you haven't done it, and you are in a sense living in regret. That regret isn't really a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing. What do I mean by that? It's like, well, it's not a bad thing because if you did the thing, your life would be a little bit better and you would feel a little bit better. So having that voice in your head constantly nag you or at least tug you in the direction that you, I guess, wanted to go, but didn't, is a blessing because it's always correcting you. It's always forcing you to stay aligned with whatever it is that you said you wanted. Even though it's uncomfortable, even though that voice in your head might feel insulting a little bit at times, I promise it's for the better. Usually it's for the better. And I mean, I'm talking about even when it gets ugly and nasty, that voice when you look in the mirror and you're like, "Oh fuck, like where did I let time go? I look so different from my high school days or my college days. What the fuck are these love handles? Why the hell do I have man boobs? Like this is disgusting. I look like shit." I mean, those things are like negative things to say. Like even saying them, it's like sounds like bullying straight up. But if those are the things that you say to yourself in your head, it's not for no reason. It's almost as if your body or your mind knows that you're capable of more, but you've decided to not take advantage of the opportunity to get more out of your life, to get the thing that you wanted, to lose the weight, to get the relationship, to do the thing. Does that make sense? As much as that voice inside your head is a bully, it is also the best version of yourself, yelling at you for fucking up why, like, or while you're doing it, like asking you why are you, doing like you're eating burgers, chips, and cookies when you said you wanted to lose 30 pounds at the start of the year. What the fuck are you doing? And then that voice is going to come again when you look at the mirror after you leave the shower, and you're gonna look at your stomach and say, "What the fuck?" Do you know what I mean? Or you're stuck at a job and you don't want to be at that job anymore and you keep opening your bank account and it pisses you off and you have to keep messaging your boss or whatever and you don't like that and these things are just popping up in your head and it's like, when are you going to take that risk? When are you going to do the thing that's going to shut that voice up in your head? Because it's going to keep talking so long as you live the way that you're living and ignoring it. Like that's the only reason I personally believe that voice gets so harsh and becomes almost like a bully in terms of tone. It's because you ignore it so much. Like you know what you want. That's like a deep intrinsic desire. But not living up to that desire is going to hurt you. Like it's the reason why you feel like it brings down your self-esteem when you talk bad about yourself. It brings down your self-esteem when you look at your life negatively. It brings down your self-esteem when you, in a sense, ignore that voice. So to listen to that voice, and better yet, to take action based off of listening to that voice, is what's going to set you free from the negativity that's in your head. Does that make sense? You keep talking down to yourself or down on yourself, but you don't know how to stop, even though you keep biting your tongue mid sentence. Like, you don't want to say these bad things about yourself. I get it, but you can't help it. It's just almost like a reaction. Like, as soon as you look at the mirror, it's like, ew. You know what I mean? And it's not for no reason. Like you believe you're not worth the luck and that you're a mistake and everything you do isn't good enough and neither are you. And that's because you are ignoring that voice in your head that is telling you to do the things that you were supposed to be doing in order to get that result, to burn the fat, to have that relationship. to get the money, to do all those things, right? The comparison that you keep making with those that have the same lucky opportunity, honestly, is in a sense holding you back. But also, you could use that as a form of motivation. Like, and what I'm talking about specifically is social media. You could be comparing to everybody else that you see there. Maybe you had a friend or you saw somebody that was around your height, around your weight, and they just graduating like a coaching program and they lost 30 pounds, 20 pounds, or 50 pounds. And you're like, fuck, like, look at me, man. I'm stuck in this position. I'm shit, this, that, and the other thing. And although, I don't encourage like negative self talk and you